Hey everybody, it's me, Casey, back again, the Astrologini. I haven't made a video in a couple of weeks. I believe the last video I made was on the Libra full moon, which was about 2 weeks ago, because now we are at a Aries new moon, and every 2 weeks we have a new lunation, a full moon and then a new moon. So yeah, it's been about 2 weeks. Just kind of took some time to relax a little bit. Just kind of got a um, little too busy, and my soul felt a little tired because of all the Pisces energies being shaken off. Pisces is my 8th house, so that's kind of where energy can get blurry between you and other people. Not to mention having Pisces there. I was shaking off the energies of the new moon in Pisces, and I have the sun, I have the progressed sun, moon, and progressed Jupiter all in Pisces. And actually, my progressed moon is getting close to moving into Aries as well. If you guys don't know about your progressed chart, that's really important. Your progressed moon is really important. It's the fastest moving position in the progressed chart, which is still two and a half years, but it shows the progressed emotional state that changes every 2.5 years. And yeah, I think I just felt a little like my soul was a little tired. I need to take a little break from astrology and some things going on. I am a family man. I do have a day job, and but I mean, I didn't completely give it up. I mean, I still been like posting things on my Instagram thread and stuff like that here and there. Not as much though either with that, but yeah, it was nice to kind of relax and take stock. I'm still kind of re-energizing and re-motivating myself, getting that all back together, because my progressed moon is still hanging out in Pisces, but this new moon is definitely helping with the resurgence of getting motivated again, because this is what this new moon, this lunation cycle is all about. It's a new moon in Aries at 27 degrees. And it is 1 degree away from Chiron. And with that, Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars is in Aries. So the ruler of this new moon, of this energy, is Mars in Aries. And it's in a stellium with Neptune, Mercury, and Saturn. So, wow. We have a 7-planet pileup right here. We have the Sun, Moon, Chiron, Saturn, Mars, Mercury, Neptune. And that is we're being fully immersed in the baptism of Aries fire. And Aries is the beginning cycles of things. And new moons are also about setting and seeding forth new intentions. So it's a kind of a double dose of new beginnings. And this is very much wrapping up our, this is like a full reset of our entire existence almost within the last like 25 years, because we've had slow moving developmental planets like over the last 25 years, like Uranus, Chiron, Saturn, and Neptune more recently in Pisces, wrapping up their cycles around the zodiac to start afresh again in Aries that we've had. And now all that Pisces energy, now that we went through all these personal planets and all that, and now we're getting fully, we got baptized in the Piscean waters to be now baptized into the fire of Aries. We have a full reset, a new zodiacal cycle, a new life, an old life that is now in the past. And the only thing that is actually, because 2025 was the year of the snake, and that's about shedding things and shedding skin, and it was a life path year 9, which is wrapping up cycles. The only thing that was existing in from this old world as the planets moved away from, like, Pluto from Capricorn to Aquarius in the end of 2024. The only thing that is hanging out from all these past planets that have gone through Pisces and now into Aries is now the North Node in Pisces. But the North Node is different because its normal motion is retrograde, so it's going to move back into Aquarius, I believe, in July. So it's not like a Pisces going from Aries. It's a regressive Pisces energy is the North Node. So in a sense, you can say that's the residual Piscean energies that we're going to have, is the developmental understanding of evolving the higher consciousness of Pisces. But, Pluto reset from Capricorn to Aquarius in the end of 2024, towards the end of 2024. And soon we're going to have Uranus moving into Gemini from Taurus. So everything is going to be reset over these last few years from old cycles. And the planets are really displaying that right now. So new shifts and new cycles from one sign, one planet, one sign to another, with like Uranus, and then what we had with Pluto a few years ago, and now when planets move from Pisces to Aries, it's not just a shift; it's a cycle. It's a cycle that's changing as well, and this is so this is a very bold new moon, as we know. It's an Aries new moon, and that means we do got to learn a little bit of patience and restraint, especially with Saturn there. Saturn's there at 7 degrees, only 2 degrees away from Mars, the ruler of this new moon, where all these energies right here, the entire new moon and this stellium right here, is all under the command of the ruler Mars, being in its own sign, Aries. It's domicile. It's very commanding and conclusive. So Mars' position is very, very important. And but first, with the Chiron in conjunction here to the actual new moon at the 27 degrees and Chiron at 26 degrees, this is kind of bringing up some pain and trauma. But we definitely have the drive and the energy and the stuff at our disposal to work through, to support us through the trauma and the pain that gets brought up through this new moon. And in fact, it's kind of meant to, show us the light and the way forward towards healing. So anything that comes up now is just stuff to, persevere from and move forward from, and to, just to kind of, don't look back. This is very much about pioneering the independence that we are trying to seek out in life, that new beginning, all that stuff we've been building towards with the Saturn-Neptune energies that we've had going on, which are still technically in conjunction. They're only 5 degrees apart, and they're all being stringed by Mars and Mercury. And with Mercury in conjunction to this Mars that governs this new moon, we're very much applying our thoughts. Mars is the planet of action, drive, passion, and Mercury is about our thoughts, our thinking, our communication, our intellect. So we're very much applying thought with this new moon. And with Saturn there, we're also applying that thought with action towards upholding commitment. Having like the discipline to uphold the commitments in what we're setting forth and grounding and building now. And with Neptune hanging around there as well, it's kind of helping us with our spiritual inspirations and our intuition, but we may have to transcend attachments to that need to dissolve. And Saturn will actually help with the discipline in that. So transcending attachments and dissolving them is still in the works with Neptune there, which, that can make some things feel hard and foggy But if we're, the thing is, Saturn and Neptune, like I've said before a few times, I think that they don't let one another get away with their own crap. So it's very important, because Neptune will dissolve those structures that Saturn tries to uphold, and Saturn will hold Neptune accountable for its deception and its elusiveness. But we have the planet of thought and the planet of action working with it, so it's very, very good, I think. And we don't need to feel too rushed, although everybody is. We don't. There's not. It's yes. There's a sense of urgency with this new moon, absolutely, but it's not the way we may feel it impulsively, like a Aries. Like Aries is very quick to jump to conclusion and rash decisions, and Saturn is going to just kind of put the brakes on a little bit, and every time we do that, just go, whoa, slow down. Yeah, yes, be bold, but don't be overly impulsive. And this new moon is really giving us so much opportunity to heal with the Chiron wounds, but we must listen to our Neptune, our intuition, and apply our thinking with our action, with the Mercury and the Mars, and using the Mars energy also productively through the challenge of Saturn and its hard work. Because when Mars and Saturn join forces, they really are a fierce combo when you use them correctly for motivation and challenge, and to persevere and endurance and all that. So this is such a major energy of manifestation moving forward. And yes, it is gonna, we're not gonna be able to control all our impulses and our irritabilities right now, but just stay conscious, and go work with the plan. Catch yourself as much as you can. We have a lot to work on as we move forward in our new life and our new world, and as the old world and the old energies of the wrapping up the cycles of last year come to a complete close, especially when Uranus moves into Gemini on the 26th or the 27th, pretty soon here. And also everything residual will probably be done with by time the North Node moves into Aquarius in July. So this is a very this is not a common new moon to have all this in Aries. Like this doesn't happen all the time. And wherever Aries is in your chart, look where it is in your chart to see where you need to light that fire, but you still need to practice patience and work with your impulsivities, basically. And this energy should be really lighting a fire under your butt, and moving out of the Piscean energies. Unless you're like me, and you still got hovering Piscean energies somewhere, like me in my progress chart. My progress moon is going to also move into Aries, so I'll really start feeling it then. And I do have a lot of ideas brewing for me, some exciting things that I want to share with you guys, some ideas, for some videos, on some content, and we have to pioneer our independence that we are seeking, that we've wanted all along, and to manifest the fresh experiences that that are basically at our disposal. We do have to practice a little bit of restraint, and we are going to have to work through our wounds with Chiron activating in this new moon, and we are going to maybe have to deal with a little bit of fogginess, but sift through it and find our true intuitive and creative spiritual inspirations through Neptune. Saturn and Neptune are moving away from each other, but the pull of Mercury and Mars coming to join forces in between is really kind of pulling it back in, you know. And what I think that Saturn and Neptune also have been teaching us is that we're not here to live life, for ourselves. If we get up more excited to do stuff that is more pleasure based, like say like, if you're more excited to like live life to keep going to Disneyland all the time, or my kids, they really like Fortnite and they're excited when every time there's a new Fortnite going on. I don't really know. The thing is, we're not supposed to live for ourselves like that. We're supposed to have purpose. We're just living for the pleasures and the things that life is bringing us. We're not fulfilling any major purpose or playing a pivotal role other than satisfying what feels good and what we like to do, want to do. This is why Neptune is a higher octave of Venus. It transcends attachments. Venus is our attachments and the pleasures in life, and Neptune transcends it spiritually. So Saturn and Neptune kind of have that vibe where if you're living your life just to have fun and do things and that's fine, you can do that. It just is second nature to what your spiritual purpose is. Your purpose is to give up things, to give up what is not good for you, what doesn't serve you, and what can elevate you to a higher state of bliss, while because you become blissful in wanting to give. You get to a point where you start wanting to give up certain things and wanting to live purposefully and sacrifice for the higher good. And that's what the North Node in Pisces is still teaching us. And this is very much what we need to still understand, even though with all these bold, more selfish, everyone's out for themselves kind of energy right now. It's not about that. We have to be serving God or a higher power or a purpose. We can't just be living for our pleasure. If we're more excited to live life that way instead of live for God or the higher source, we're not doing things correctly. That's only secondary to that. We can have pleasure, we can do stuff like that, we can go to Disneyland and be excited, but it just can't get in the way of our spiritual growth and progress. And that's what we need to understand moving forward. With these wounds are bringing up a lot of our selfishness with Chiron, and what the things that we need to still work on to build a better, stronger, more efficient, but more enlightened spiritual identity, as long as Neptune is still there, and build around that structure and uphold the commitment to it with Saturn, as we take action through Mars with our thought process of Mercury. So, and another thing about this new moon, or this stellium here with Mars, is that it's exactly sextiling Pluto in Aquarius at 5 degrees. And this is really kind of connecting the transformative power of humanity with this stellium. Aquarius is all about humanity. Pluto is a collective energy as well as Aquarius is. And this is really kind of connecting this fire to the growth of our humanity, and that maybe that purpose that I'm talking about here. There's a seminar I listened to which talks about your teachability index. And your teachability index is based on what is your willingness to learn and what is your willingness to accept change. And in order to have a high willingness to learn, you have to be both high in those areas. You have to be high in both those areas, in your willingness to learn and your willingness to accept change. Because sometimes you can think you have a high willingness to learn, but if you don't have a high willingness to accept change, then your willingness to learn isn't actually all that great. It's kind of meaningless to a certain point. And the best way to find your willingness to learn and accept change and what your teachability index is to see what you're willing to give up. That's how you find out if you have a high teachability index. If you have the discipline to give things up and eradicate more earthly, fleshly pleasures from your life that won't serve you, because like on the shadow end of pleasure, there's pain and suffering. This is why humanity is at where it's at. And this Pluto sextile is helping us get an opportunity to find clarity at that, is that humanity is really in their own way with this Aries energy. To understand here, if we are living for ourselves and what we want to do and our pleasures and our pain, our pleasures every day, for doing the things that we want to do, that we're excited about, going to Disneyland, or just wanting to go out and have fun, or just party, or whatever it is, on the shadow end of the stick of pleasure, there is pain and suffering. And the reason why there's so much pain and suffering in the world and in humanity is because we're living too much one-sidedly for ourselves and our pleasures. And as Saturn and Neptune move away, I think it's very, very important for us to get that programmed into us. While it's still within its conjunction and Mercury and Mars are pulling them in to this Aries energy, it's very, very important for us to understand how to build the best version of ourselves, to find the independence that we seek through a state of higher bliss as we evolve into this Pisces North Node, as it's wrapping up its cycle until July. So, I don't know, I kind of rambled on here a lot, but kind of went in all directions. It's been I feel like maybe I'm a little rusty from 2 weeks and kind of taking some time off. But yeah, these energies are very, they're hard to ignore. Let's just put it that way. They're very, very hard to ignore the conundrum that we're feeling between our selfish impulses and what it is that we know we should feel we should be doing and how to do it. But we are feeling that sense of excitement and urgency, as Aries always does, but we gotta not let that fire burn out. And with Saturn there, I think it's going to really help us uphold our commitment. It may be a little harder to stay patient, but we got to work through it. And we will heal our traumas, our pains, our wounds, and, be a mentor. We're very much being a mentor to ourselves. As we be a mentor to ourselves, we are also aiding that sextile to humanity at large through the transformation at large through Pluto and Aquarius that aids humanity into bringing its power back and taking control. Humanity needs to understand that the dog that's rounding up the sheep, the sheep can trample the dog, but for some reason, the dog has some control over the sheep, thinking that they can't do that, or what the consequences are if they were to do something like that. So there, we need to just understand that the power is in our own hands, but we have to build our identity and our quest forward, seed these new intentions, manifest through this major stellium here in the energies of the Sun, Moon, Chiron, Saturn, Mars, Mercury, Neptune, and get the clarity to what the main goal here is with the manifestation of Pluto and Aquarius. And we need to build a solid identity for ourselves that actually understands self-awareness better than most Aries because of Saturn. Saturn's there. Saturn won't let us get away with not understanding a better sense of self-awareness. And Neptune will also help grow us spiritually. So this new moon is very much a wonderful start to wonderful things to come. New cycles blooming, blossoming, and just try to hold your horses a little bit. Not everything is so urgent. Yes, there is urgency, but in a more balanced way. And that's how we got to understand moving forward with this blast of fiery Aries flames. And yeah, I think I'm talking too much. I'm rambling on too much, and I keep feeling like I have more to say, or I'm not like it's not or I'm feeling like I'm not saying things the way I want to, but that's okay. I'm very tired, and it's like I said, I think I relaxed too much. But anyway, I'm gonna get back on it. Like I said, I got a few things that I want to share with you guys, some exciting things moving forward, and I hope you enjoyed this video on the Aries new moon. So I will leave it there, and for all of you, don't just take care, but give care too, and we'll see you on the next video.